Hello, welcome back to Sokobond. Alright, I'm actually recording this right after the previous episode. I ended off that episode because I didn't want the thing to go too long, and you can sort of see an example of that in episodes 2 and 3, where I sort of overestimated my skill and had to I had to cut off the hour-long video into two separate parts. I want this to be sort of like a series of shorter videos, because, you know, puzzles generally should not be taking that long unless it's a really big puzzle. So if I'm obsessing over a single puzzle over a long period of time, it makes things really frustrating. Alright, so let's continue though. We had some pretty interesting puzzles last episode regarding the double bonding mechanic. So not double bonds, but bonding with two different molecules at once. Two different atoms at once. Yeah. Alright, next up we're gonna do the lambda section, which probably has a new focus. Let's see what goes on here. Hello, so yeah, this is about the confusion mechanic, where a molecule is confused if it tries to bond with two things at once but doesn't have the electrons to do so. So what I want to do here is do this... Wait, what? Oh, I want to go back to get this oxygen and then around here to get this hydrogen, forming water. Fires need fuel, heat, and oxygen to live. To put out a fire, you need to remove one or more of those ingredients. Most fire extinguishers work by cutting off the fire's oxygen supply. Yeah, this like white foamy thing which covers the entire fire. That's why they ask you to spray when you use a fire extinguisher. It's just so you get more coverage over the fire. And also, generally, fires are actually a lot smaller than they look. It's all about the smoke that makes them look big, which is also why, generally, you are instructed to spray at the center of the fire as opposed to over the smoke. It'll make it less efficient otherwise. Alright, level 2. So more confusion mechanic. I wonder if we ever have to use this confusion mechanic. Maybe. We have to, right? Because if we don't do that, we have to bond directly to hydrogen, which makes your full molecule already. And going down further prevents you from entering the exit. From passing through the exit. Going down, you could technically bond with oxygen, but doing this and then going down further, which is the only way you can go from here, blocks your exit as well. So you have to do this, you have to be confused. Now I'm guessing I probably want to bond to nitrogen and then... well... maybe this? Yeah, this feels right. There you go. Alright. The molten iron and nickel in Earth's outer core generate a magnetic field that protects our atmosphere from solar winds. It's also the reason a compass needle points north. Yeah, Earth's natural magnetic field is not actually vertical to its axis. So the rotation of the Earth spins around an axis, but the magnetic field does not follow this axis. It's just a separate axis that it follows, which is why the Earth both has a North Pole and a true North Pole. A geographic North Pole, which is the North Pole that the Earth spins around, and the true North Pole, which is the axis that the magnetic field spins around. And that's called true because that's, well, I'm not sure why that's called true, but geographic is definitely the one for spinning, and therefore true is probably the one for magnetic field. I'm not sure. I can't really justify why we call that true though. Maybe like more scientific. It's more scientifically significant that that is the pole, which is why we call it true. I don't know. Maybe. Level 3. Whoa. Alright, so going in and coming out doesn't work because this hydrogen is blocked by this hydrogen, so moving up, basically, if I did try to do this, it gets whacked into here. Yeah, and you get stuck, you don't even move past it. Alright, so how do I want to do this? Do I want to get confused somehow? Interesting, bonding to this hydrogen directly prevents me from getting this hydrogen. So if I did this and then went around to get you, I can't leave. So it almost feels like I have to do this first. But how? Okay, maybe what I have to do is this. That feels wrong. I can't bond directly to oxygen because that forms a full molecule, which again doesn't work. Does this somehow work? How'd I go in and come out? I can't do that. Do I have to somehow bridge over this gap? Make something that is very far to my right? Doesn't seem possible for a couple of reasons. But what I can probably do is use this to make myself confused. Wow, okay, that's an interesting thing you can do. Now I can bond things to my right twice, which then bridges over to connect all the way over there. Wow, okay, that is not an implication that I imagined possible with this, but this is one way you can cause yourself to become confused. Interesting. Alright, that was a good puzzle. That was a really cool puzzle. Pollutants like mercury enter the food chain in teeny tiny amounts, but they build up in the tissues of each subsequent predator, becoming more and more toxic as they go. Why is that the case? Is it because we eat a lot of it? Like, predators eat a lot of prey. Is that maybe? Our body doesn't naturally produce mercury. I don't think with the presence of mercury, you could create more mercury. So I don't think that's that. I do think it's probably just because we eat a lot of our food, which is why we get a lot of mercury. And it might seem like this statement is implying that we have a lot of mercury, but that's not true. Like, the amount of mercury we consume is very small, but even that small amount of mercury could kill us, which is why it's counted as toxic. Like, even in the milligrams, I think mercury could kill you if consumed. I'm not entirely sure. You have to fact check that for me. I don't want to spread misinformation. Alright, level 4. Okay, this is Confusion Haven. I can see a lot of ways to get confused here. This, for example, is one of them. I could probably... Well, this does not let me get confused. This does a double bond, which we explored in the last episode. Basically, with more than one electron, you can form one in each direction. Yeah. You could theoretically form 3 bonds at once, but that doesn't work because in doing that, a third atom here would sort of form a cul-de-sac that you can't leave. So yeah, no, that doesn't work. What is this? What the heck do I want to do here? This is its own molecule, so this just doesn't work. This forms a full molecule already. Why is being confused useful? Maybe being confused now is not useful, but I want to eventually become confused. Or maybe being confused is the obstacle here, because I can't go in, right? Going right here doesn't work. Going up here doesn't work. In fact, this just kills us. Maybe this? Oh, confused is being a problem now. No, just kidding, it's not. Okay, that solves it. What? I guess this helps us. Maybe. But now I can form a bond like that and I solve it. That was a really weird puzzle. I'm not entirely sure what was going on there. But regular guess and check would have helped us solve it. Maybe it's trying to demonstrate that molecules that are not on our path not on our track can also become confused, I guess. Surgery without anesthesia is a terrifying prospect. Anesthetics stop nerve cells from passing pain signals to the brain, allowing us to have major operations and not feel a thing. Anesthesia. From passing pain signals. Interesting. Yeah. Generally, anesthesia in major surgeries is just things that cause you to faint. That's how anesthesia works. That's not entirely true though, because some fainting agents don't remove this ability for no cells and pain, which can wake you up from the pain, which is really bad. But you know, more mild anesthesias are numbing medicines basically. They're not painkillers, but painkillers do work in the same way I would expect, where either the pain signals are not sent to your brain or your brain is unable to process those pain signals. Yeah, but waking up from anesthesia wearing off while in the middle of operation is actually really terrifying. I don't know if that is one thing you should be scared of. Also, for head operations, for operations on the brain, they don't put anesthesia because number one, there's no nerve endings in the brain, which means that all you need to do is put numbing medicine around your scalp, which just gets them to cut open your head. But secondly, they basically need to keep you awake for head operations to ensure that you are, you know, they're not hurting any of your brains. Alright, let's begin. So we now have ions. So ions basically, instead of having two outer electrons, one of them are missing, you have to touch the electron to collect it. So you form a bond with the existing proton and then this happens. We've seen this interaction before where after the collection of electron, bonds do not naturally form. You have to form your own bond yourself. Something I want to know is if this happens and then you get confused, does a bond then form? Because I don't know if we've ever seen that before. I'm not sure. Actually, now that I think about it, it really looks like there isn't any possibility for confusion here. Maybe this though. Yeah, this could be that. So this can be a confusion state. Look at that. Where this electron doesn't know which one to be with. Yeah, wow. And this breaks, right? Like, this can't move up or across because this is a solid block. So I have to go around like this. That works. Yeah, that works. Alright. So this structure allows us to connect to both of these at once and then connect to this at the same time, which forms a loop. Actually, 4 oxygens have to form a loop like that. In this game. I'm not sure in real life if it does have to or not, but in this game it has to. The metals we use in our everyday life are found all over Earth, but it's only economical to extract them from there, found in lumps called ores. Economical, yeah, because you get a lot of metal out of a small price. Otherwise it's just really rare in the ground, and it kind of is pointless. Alright, that is a huge puzzle, pretty reminiscent of like level 3 I think. Yeah, no, level 4? Level 4. This puzzle looks very similar to this puzzle in that there are just a bunch of random atoms scattered everywhere in a similarly shaped area. Alright, do you think this is a confusion state? It is. A confusion state, of course. I love that like it glitches out a little bit. Also, electrons pass over the lock texture, but not the atom. The outline of the atom does though pass over the lock texture. Wow, that's interesting. Not this electron. This electron does not pass over the lock. And this entire atom does because, I mean, it would sort of make a bit of sense because it's on a track. Very weird. Okay. Alright, so what if I did this? If I did this, then we're out of electrons. If I did this and then this, there is no more confusion because now we have 2 electrons, you can actually bond with both of them at once. I mean, there's only one thing I can do here, it's either this or I can do this, but that breaks, so I can't actually do that. If I did this, there might still be a problem. Yeah, there is still a problem. So maybe what I have to do is bond with nitrogen first, and then with this. Okay, well, nothing can be too below me because I'm our final product. Right here. So this oxygen over here goes there. Nothing can be too below me. So maybe this is fine? Nothing can be to my right either though. Because while I'm here, nothing can be to my right. I don't think we really talked about being out of play area for this episode, but that's just a thing. It's just a gimmick of this game. At the end of the puzzle, you can't have molecules dangling over. Okay. Is this maybe... no. I can't go collect an electron and come back for this nitrogen. There's just no space. Maybe this is fine? I don't see how that will be fine. No, nothing can be to my right. Nothing to my right once again. But being in a confused state does seem to not actually do anything for us. Cause... how do I could do that, but it doesn't help me anymore. Collecting electrons also doesn't let me do anything. Okay, maybe not there. Maybe this is fine? No, nothing can be too below me. Nothing can be to my right either, so this fails. Maybe this is fine though? If I went around like this. No, again, same issue occurs. I can't go around it, so no. No? What? Alright, this is the last one. Like, I feel like there's just some interaction I'm not seeing here. Because as opposed to all the last puzzles in each set, it's not that I can't find a solution. I don't even know what I'm supposed to be doing here. Like, it just doesn't seem possible at this state. No, that's just wrong. I can't go onto this tile, so this is a fail state. Maybe this is fine. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't see this. I guess this works, seemingly. This then breaks though, so maybe that's not it. This is a confused state, which seems to fit so far. Ah, and the confused state prevents me from getting an electron so that this guy can get the electron and more of the H. Okay, and this should solve it. Alright, so not a hard puzzle, just gotta make sure you see every possibility and figure out which one's right. Cool. Alright, before it's used in bombs and nuclear plants, uranium was employed in photography. It could act as a toner, changing the color of an existing image, or it could produce the image itself. Interesting. Nowadays, regular photo... actually, I'm not sure. Regular photos basically just capture light. Regular cameras capture light, so they don't use chemicals as much, which is why your phone can do it. But in the olden days, besides using uranium, I have heard them use like silver, I think. I'm not sure. Silver, I think. Yeah, silver. Something about capturing light as well. But silver can... is it silver or is it a molecule that contains silver? It's one of the two. It basically captures light and sort of changes its state when it captures light, which is how you can produce images. But I guess uranium is used for a different role. Toners are not the same as things that capture images. Alright, that was fast. That was pretty good. I think we can start a new section. Yeah, we should be able to. So after Kappa is she. Let's go there. Hello, this is a new symbol. Okay, it doesn't do anything right now, but possibly is it a rotation? It's a rotation. Okay, we had a rotationer. Also, do you hear that? The sound when I hold on to this. It's like a weird blowing sound when I do this. Alright, anyway, yeah. This rotation basically rotates our molecule around it. Similar to revolving doors, which is something I talked about in in last series about regular Sokobond. Ban a covalent bond. Bombardier beetles. Bombardier? Beetles are so named because they can trigger a chemical reaction in their abdomens when threatened, which lets them spray elements with a near boiling liquid. Yikes. Alright, this will make things a lot more complicated for us. I know that. I know that rotations have made things really tough in the past. Okay. So this should just solve it, but no. Because this forms... Yeah, alright, this forms a double rotation. And we don't want anything below us, so we have to go around it. So... Yeah, now it's time to talk about the molecule as its entire state and not just my position. There you go. Kryptonite, the fictional crystal which affects Superman, now has a real-world cousin. The mineral jadeite matches the chemical composition of kryptonite, described in Superman Returns. Jadeite? I have no idea that this existed. That's pretty cool. There's also an element called krypton, but I feel like that's just completely unrelated. Alright, level 3. 2 rotations. Okay, so let's say doing this does a rotation. This does a rotation. There is no point where this rotation fails, right? No matter what I do. It always just misses the rotation or actually rotates itself. I don't think this... No. I think rotations always work. Yeah, rotations between 2 always work. But when you hit 3, maybe it doesn't work anymore. Like, for example... can I get one that doesn't work? This wouldn't work. And the reason why that wouldn't work is because if a rotation like this were to exist, you'd basically be stacking these 2 atoms together. So like, it would try, but it would not actually do anything. So I want to see what happens if it tries. Yeah, it sort of tries stacking them, but doesn't work. Alright, fair enough. So we want to prevent anything from being on our right or above us. Okay. But below us is fine, so this should be fine. Yeah, this should work. Nice. The lightest materials we know of are aerogels, a kind of solid foam that can be up to 99.98% air. They're great insulators, but NASA also uses them to catch stardust. No idea what stardust is, but interesting. Maybe it's because they're great insulators you can catch stardust, which is probably really high in temperature for some reason. Also no idea what would be in stardust. Or maybe it's like, you know, elements that are pretty rarely found on Earth, which is why they're useful for us. Whoa! What is... Whoa! Okay, we just unlocked like a mega section. Cool? 1H, 1N, 1O, and 1C. Yeah, these are the 4 main elements. I mean... And then there's one final puzzle here that's really big. Interesting. I guess we'll see this eventually. Sure. Okay, let's not worry about that for now. Let's continue this section over here. What is that? That is a pretty far away rotator. I can't use it directly, but I can probably use it to things that are extending past me. So like... I just want to find some way to really use it right now. Maybe I can't. But basically you need like something to be 3 tall to actually have any use out of this thing. Now we can see how it works now. Yeah, basically it rotates those 2 elements. But obviously there's no reason I want to do that. I do know at the end state nothing can be to my right or below me. Okay. Makes this pretty tough, but I can always rotate that around. Doing this fails. You actually can't actually enter this cul-de-sac at all. Maybe I have to do this. That will make this rotator completely useless though. So I don't know about that. Maybe I can bond to the side of it and then use it like this. Maybe. That seems usable. Again, I think I'd be below me though, which is kind of weird. Okay. So I want to find some use of this, but because this requires you to have at least 3 elements bonded together, I feel like going here first is not good. I want to collect oxygen, and then do a rotation there. Right? I don't know. Also, the weird thing is that I might have to go to nitrogen first actually. I haven't really thought about what molecule I'll be making out of this. Like generally, this is not what I want. Okay, we're at C4. Is that out of 5? It's out of 6. Okay. So this is even like the hardest. I'm just struggling already a little bit. Alright. I feel like this has to be the first step, but I can't really explain why. This could also be a first step. That feels feasible, right? But like in theory, I could get that to happen by going around the back, I think. Yeah, by doing this. So the same thing can occur in 2 different ways, which makes me think it's a bit less likely to be the solution. Again, haven't thought about what molecule I'll be making, so let's see, what molecule will I be making? Isn't it HO then N then O? Yeah, it is. Okay, so maybe what I have to do is do a rotation that turns this above. Go this way. Do one rotation to the side, and then do that. Alright, cool. So thinking about what molecule I was about to make helped me, because I knew that it had to be HONO, which made me think that it has to be O first, then N, then O again. Alright, it's not that hard after that. You can just use all the remaining space you have and naturally solves the puzzle for you. Humans have a long history of creating fictional elements to sit alongside real ones. Ancient Greece let the gods will... How do you even say that? Adamantine? Is that how the word adamant came about? Tolkien gave us mithril and Marvel came up with vibranium. I really thought elements, like, I really thought, like, this first sentence made me think of like the very ancient idea of fire, earth, water, and fire, earth, water, and air. It is still used in modern day like media though. So in modern day media, a lot of things are in fact based around 4 elements like that. Like, I guess Avatar, if you think about it. I think ancient China used like 7 elements, which describe the 7 days of the week. Yeah, I think so. Alright, pi. Okay, 2 more levels and we should end the episode, I think. Okay, so this immediately forms CH, and we are forming well, firstly, we're forming 4 upward bonds, right? Yeah, because this C needs to bond with 4 things separately. Which is why we have 3 rotations. It's basically 1 rotation. Is it 1 rotation? Another one? and then another rotation, and then another one, and then another one. But we have to rotate it in a good way. So like this, I think needs 3 rotations, and the reason why is because if each of these rotations goes clockwise, then at the very end, this would in fact need to be on this side. If we keep rotating additional hydrogens coming from the top around, sort of like rotating around a keyring. You gotta have elements that rotate all the way to the back and then filling up the space so that your last element can be a hydrogen directly on top. So now this has to rotate twice basically, and this has to rotate once, and we should be solved then. Cool, that was a neat concept to teach us, and a concept that I learned immediately. But still, a really neat concept about having to store things in your back pocket. Snowflakes get their famous 6-pointed shape from water molecules. Water molecules are bent at an angle. They are, and the reason for that is because the middle oxygen has additional electrons in its valence shell, which takes up actually more space than the hydrogen atoms itself, which is why it bends at an angle. These electrons sort of push away the protons in the hydrogen atoms. No, sorry, they push away, not the proton, they push away the valence electrons of these hydrogen atoms because, like charges repel. Water molecules are bent at an angle, so as water crystallizes, the molecules naturally connect up in a hexagonal pattern. Cool, and after there's a row. Another 6, right? 2, 4, 6, 2, 4. No, it's 5. Row is only 5 levels. This might be like the tough section, like the really, really tough section. Okay. Level 6. Alright, we're already starting with this, but we want to form a loop, right? We know that 4 oxygens can only form a loop. And we want that loop to have oxygen as its last molecule. So basically what has to happen there is that I need to rotate my shape in such a way I can form this sort of J kind of shape to fit this oxygen perfectly. Okay. This doesn't work. So I guess a good start might be to do this. Yeah, I think this and this. I mean, that just solves it, right? No, it doesn't. Uh-oh. Because things go out of the play area. Oops. So wait, no, I'm the opposite corner. Wait, what? Oh, you know what? It's possible to bond to this first and then form the loop later, right? Like this. Ah. Okay, this also fails, but basically what happened there is it sort of closes up the loop for you. So it bends it and then a bond forms like that. Interesting, that also doesn't work, but that's a good demonstration of the intended, I think. But I myself need to be in the bottom corner. So if that's the case, then I guess we need to first maneuver it so that I'm at the bottom corner. I can probably do that in a few ways. Like this works, except that I need to close by going around the other side, so I don't think this really works out. Let's see, what if I went this way instead? How if I pulled it to the side? That seems plausible. In fact, this lets me just bond here. I still need to be on the other side of this thing though, so not really. If I could go on the other side here. Ah, there it is. And then I could go on the other side. Nice, alright. That solves the puzzle. There's no real explanation as to why that worked out. I just guessed and checked. But cool, lucky enough. That works out for us. Cool. Alright. Great final puzzle to like end things off. There's a little bit of a twist as well. An octopus inspired ink can change color in response to light. An octopus inspired ink? Oh, sorry. The ink is created by us, but inspired by an octopus. I thought the octopus ink was the one they're talking about. No. The ink contains particles dyed cyan, magenta, and yellow. These rise and fall, causing the ink to match the color of light it is exposed to. So light changes the... Oh, like within the ink. I thought the rising and falling meant the concentration. No, it means the physical particles of cyan, magenta, yellow dye rise and fall based on the light attracted to it. I wonder why that works. Not sure. Okay, well that was 2 sections done. Next episode we're gonna finish up pi and rho, probably in 2 different episodes because I'm expecting these to be slightly tougher than C. And then after that we can explore omega. Alright, this was a pretty fun challenge. Pretty fun new mechanic as well. 2, 4, 2, 4, 6, yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll do that next time. Until then, hope you enjoyed the video. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.